Chris and Brandon here with the Kabuki Strength team, and we're going through one of our favorite, I guess, assistants, but it's actually a strength developing move, and it's really working on developing the lats. It's a pulling motion, but what is really cool is this is very similar to, like, if you look at some of our videos on bench press, our bench press yoga series, and it's really working on grooving the pattern for the bench press. And this is one of the things that we love to have people do their first training session of teaching the bench. We actually don't have them bench, and you'll see why. So we're gonna get into the bench setup. So Brandon's gonna get down here, and we've got a bar hanging in bands. This one you're gonna wanna do with a partner, because I'm gonna have to hold Brandon down, and he's gonna reach the bar, and I'll have to hold him here, and he's got to draw it down. He's going to pull motion to boom. Notice he's got perfect positioning here. The bar's in a good position. Go ahead and let it come up, and then back down again. Boom. And notice it automatically cues him to reach with that rib cage structure. Go ahead and come up. I don't want you to work yourself too hard there. It's really challenging to actually hold that on the chest, and that's actually part of the movement. So we do this for 5-second pauses on the chest. You probably drop to 3 when you first start, but to really come down and actually pull and all the way touch it. And you've got to teach to pull, but at the same time actually use that to actually draw that rib up into the bar. Otherwise you'll never be able to keep it there. And it grooves that position, that shoulder position right where it needs to be, the bar path perfectly. It teaches all these things to happen and teaches the lat engagement in that pattern. So, and again, we've got that bench press yoga automatically having to happen. So Brandon, go ahead and try to pull it without reaching to the bar. Without extending. Just stay flat. Look, see, look at what happens here. Okay, so now go ahead and do it with reaching, boom. So he gets so much better lat engagement. Go ahead and come up, and he's able to hold it there at his chest versus coming 4 to 5 inches off. So it's not just that movement, but it's actually that positioning allows them to get that much more recruitment, and it's perfect for developing the bench press. So we can do these after a bench press training session or on a back day. 5 sets, 5 reps. That's a 5 count on your chest. So pretty easy to remember. It's all about the time under tension there. And we do that because instead of paying out like 20 reps, on the bench, you need to be able to stay and hold in that position for the length and duration of a press. So that's why we like to focus on time under tension and holding that tension on this movement. Brandon, do you have any additional input on this?
Well, I think this is such a foundational teaching exercise. One, we find that probably one of the harder things to teach someone is to reach up with their chest and meet the bar. And instinctively, I do that, but if you don't do that, we noticed how those shoulders roll forward, and it just ends up being this weird, not right bench. But a secondary side of that, if your entire body isn't tight, then it's just gonna pull you down the bench. I was having to lock my hips down as hard as I could with my glutes just to stay on the bench, and I think that's something that we teach in our regular bench, but wouldn't be immediately apparent in this until you actually do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I skipped over that, but you have that full body tension, just like you have to have when you blow that bar off of your chest.
Yeah.
That tight through the core, stretched all the way, glutes tight, everything, tight through that whole system. So it's an incredible teaching tool, but also we're working our lats.
Yeah.
We're getting stronger. We love that. So this is actually, it is both a teaching movement and a strength and hypertrophy development movement. So it's a fundamental. For years we used this as we did it on back day, and we'd have people skip their first bench day and come in and work this movement their first day, then come bench the next week is their first bench session, and they'd always just, perfect, they got it.
Yeah.
All those things that sometimes take you months to teach people that, like, no, push, come up to the bar, reach to the bar.
It forces you to.
Forces that and gets automatically great positioning of the shoulders and then engagement of that through the muscles that we want to. So it's a great tool. Put it to use. You'll need a partner though.